One thing about the crypto space that I have come to realize is how divided this space is on certain things. Like, for example, if you are talking about a specific crypto project, it's going to be a pretty divided discussion where you have, one side that's very supportive of the project, and then you have the other side that's calling it a scam and they don't like it, this, that, whatever. But one thing that I feel like we could all agree on, one thing that I believe that everyone is thinking right now is that this cycle for crypto has been absolutely terrible. Like, you could argue that, oh yeah, XRP has done very well. It's at $2 plus. Bitcoin is at 95K. It did hit a high of 126K. That's great. But let's be real here. Most altcoins didn't make a new high. They didn't go into price discovery. We have yet to see a 2021 or even a 2017, 2018 like run. And this is where we really kind of look at what's happening to crypto. Like, what's going on that's so different this time around? Like, we look at fear and greed, we're, at 17. We were recently just at a lower point. I think it was like 16 or so. We're at fear and greed. The market itself, in terms of market cap, is at about roughly 3.23 trillion. Just hit a low of about roughly like 3.18 trillion. I think it was a little bit lower. What's going on? And then you look at the headlines, right? Like, for example, we have a pro-crypto administration. So pro that if we go back to July 14th, it was deemed crypto week because we were seeing a ton of major announcements happening around regulations. We saw the Genius Act get passed through. Here we have the announcement, July 18th. Fact sheet, President Donald J. Trump signs Genius Act into law. This was a huge one. Again, it's coming off the back of the fact that, this is the first official pro-crypto president. We are seeing, so many big moves happening around crypto. And then also, if we go over here, let me close this. Trump rewrites crypto rules in first 100 days. Industry celebrates 180 pivot from Biden years. Again, we were seeing a big shift in the markets. Even now, we know that we have a pro-crypto SEC. So pro to the point that if we just go back a couple days ago, well, it's actually a month ago now, SEC Chair Atkins charts pro-innovation path for crypto and tokenization regulation. But also, if we just go back like about a week ago, Paul Atkins just made a huge announcement regarding tokens and how they are, they should all trade like stocks. Again, the question here is, what's going on? We have all this great news. So much is happening. Institutional adoption is picking up. Yet we look at the crypto space and it feels like we are in a bear market. It feels absolutely horrible. And a lot of people are questioning, like, how can we go into a bear market at this point when majority of this space has barely done much? You could even argue that most of the altcoin market still has yet to make a new high. So the question is, what's really going on here? I just saw a great post from the Kabaisi letter, and we have an isolated crypto sell-off. U.S. stock market futures just opened, and they are completely unfazed by the crypto decline this weekend. Even as crypto has lost $100 billion since Friday, U.S. stock market futures are green. Meanwhile, gold just opened above 4,100 per ounce, and yields are on the rise. The isolated nature of the negative 25% crypto downturn further supports our view. This is a leverage and liquidation-based crypto bear market. A bottom forms when market structure is re-established. Now, looking into this, we have what is happening in crypto. Over the last 41 days, crypto has erased 1.1 trillion in market cap, or 27 billion per day. Crypto market cap is now 10% below levels seen during the record $19 billion liquidation event on October 18th or on October 10th, sorry. This is a structural move. Let us explain. And here we have, of course, the image where crypto nears 4.3 trillion in market cap. Trump announces 100% tariff on China, largest liquidation event in crypto history. Then, of course, fast forward to roughly like the end of October, beginning of November. Trump says America will be number one in crypto. Crypto erases 1.1 trillion in just 41 days. Now, the decline has been strange for one key reason. There haven't been many material bearish developments on the fundamental side of crypto. Just days ago, President Trump said America, being number one in crypto, is his top priority. Yet Bitcoin is down negative 25% in 1 month. And yeah, this is another big thing that we are constantly seeing and hearing from the Trump admin, which is, hey, crypto is our number one priority. We want crypto to be number one. Even Scott Bessent is talking about stablecoins and how it reinforces the dollar and that they are 100% backing US stablecoins. The question here is, with all of this major support, with all of this, massive amount of confidence behind crypto, why are we still seeing such massive negative price action? It also appears to be a structural and mechanical downturn. It all began with institutional outflows in mid to late October. What a big surprise. The big money starting to sell, starting to cause panic yet again. In the first week of November, crypto funds saw $1.2 billion of outflows. The problem becomes excessive levels of leverage amid these outflows. Leverage in crypto is unique. It is common for speculators to take on positions that are levered at 20x, 50x, or even 100x. As seen below, a 2% move at 100x leverage would liquidate your position. When millions of traders are using leverage, this leads to a domino effect. This is also why I keep saying that leverage trades are just a horrible way to try to make money in this space. Unless you are experienced, unless you are a veteran in trading, using leverage is just, it's ridiculous. Especially in a market like this where most of these exchanges are not regulated, so they could see your positions, they could target your positions. It's just a horrible way to try to make money. And again, typically on every single major downturn in this market, we see a liquidation cascade where, we see so many leverage traders get liquidated and it starts to become exaggerated. And then it leads to prices crashing. And we have, as a result, when these sudden downswings happen in crypto, liquidation surge. As seen on October 10th, the 19.2 billion liquidation spree led to the first ever $20,000 Bitcoin daily candlestick. Excessive levels of leverage have resulted in a seemingly hypersensitive market. Over the last 16 days alone, we have seen 3 days with liquidations exceeding $1 billion. Daily liquidations of 500 million plus have become a normal occurrence. Particularly in periods of thin volume, these results in violent crypto swings. And it goes in both directions. It also explains the sudden shifts in sentiment. The crypto fear and greed index has officially fallen to 10. This is extreme fear. This now ties the bottom seen in February 2025, even as Bitcoin is up plus 25% since the April bottom. Leverage is amplifying shifts in investor sentiment. Still not convinced? Take a look at the chart of Bitcoin versus gold since the October 10th liquidation occurred. For 12 plus months, gold and Bitcoin moved with high correlation, the safe haven assets. Since early October, gold has outperformed Bitcoin by 25 percentage points. The trend is even more evident outside of Bitcoin. Take a look at Ether, which is now officially down 8.5% on the year. Since October 6th, Ether is down a massive 35%. This is beyond bear market territory despite a broader rally in all risky assets across the board. Therefore, when you really zoom out, it seems that crypto is in a structural bear market. The fundamental value of crypto has only improved, but market dynamics are shifting. As with any efficient market, the wrinkles will work their way out. We think the bottom is near. I do agree. But the main thing that we are looking at here is we are starting to see institutional players targeting leveraged traders. This makes a lot of sense. They want to shake out as many people as possible. They want to make sure that, everyone that's using leverage out there, number one, your positions are seen. They can be seen by market makers. A lot of these exchanges, believe it or not, are targeting leverage trades. They see them. They target them. Why would they do this? Because they make money when you get liquidated. On top of that, it creates opportunities for these exchanges to swoop in and buy. It's the number one reason why Binance was the size that Binance was, because they were doing this going all the way back to 2017 leading up to, recently. But one thing is very clear. I do agree with the Kabaisi letter. I think that the bottom is near. I even said on X earlier yesterday, everyone is crashing out on my timeline right now. I'm seeing posts like bear market is now here. Exit Bitcoin now before 75K. Bigger crash incoming. I can go on too. I'm not saying this is the bottom, but the sentiment right now is peak negative. Fear and greed is at the lowest it's been since the COVID crash. Altcoins have been mostly down only since January of this year. Engagement in crypto has been dropping significantly. As I have mentioned time and time again, markets don't top on fear and depression. I still believe that we see a larger rally for altcoins, but we need to see bullish structure form again before we get ahead of ourselves. And yeah, we do. But what's crazy about this is we are constantly being fed FUD in this space that does affect the market. Recently, everyone was talking about how Michael Saylor is selling. This was the post. Huge warning. Don't say I didn't warn you. Read now. We're about to witness a MicroStrategy collapse. Investors are pulling out. Earnings are bleeding. Take out all your money for Master. It's crazy because, again, this is crazy because everyone is getting so paranoid at this point because they think that, the floor is going to fall out beneath them. And listen, I get it. I understand. PTSD is a big thing in these markets. But when we are starting to create this narrative that, we're starting to see a collapse in the space around one of the biggest names, even more recently, on the 14th, we heard that, Michael Saylor's strategy is selling billions of Bitcoin right now. He has dumped 3.2 billion worth of Bitcoin in market. What is going on? Again, this screenshot here, in terms of, hey, guess what? This is proof. This is literally just wallets. This is internal transactions. This is not, sending Bitcoin to an open exchange to sell. Again, this video is not about Bitcoin. It's not about Michael Saylor. It's not about, MicroStrategy or anything like that. The main thing that I'm focused on here is the fact that this was not selling. This was simply internal transfers. That is just FUD. But again, this accelerates let's go back, the liquidations. It accelerates sell pressure, which leads to liquidations because people are utilizing 100x leverage, 50x leverage, even 10x leverage. I know that we need a 10% move, but 10x leverage will cause your positions to get eaten up. This is all a liquidation cascade, and it's been happening for months on end now. It goes back to the tariffs. It goes back to the China announcements with tariffs. It goes back to every single big headline that we have gotten so far this year that leads to major liquidations, causing the market to sell off in a big way. This is a big issue, but it's also a clear sign that we are not going into a bear market. The sentiment is peak negative. Everyone is wondering what's happening. They think that everything is over. And if everyone is thinking that the market is done, that we're going into a bear market, typically the opposite happens. I'm not saying that this is a, easygoing time in crypto, that everything's looking good. No, this market sucks. I'm right there with you guys. However, I still think most of these altcoins, especially even when we are thinking about XRP or any altcoin, the sentiment is still extremely bearish because for the most part, it's been down only since going all the way back to July. I mean, since the July high on XRP, we are now down currently 38, almost 39%. Our full wick going back to October 10th was almost 60%. Mind you, the last time that we have seen something that significant in terms of a sell-off like that was back in March of 2020. If we go all the way back to March of 2020, okay, here we have our major sell-off back in March of 2020. The total drop here on XRP was about 66.3%. Again, our recent move here was 58, almost 60%. We just had one of the largest drops in the market since going back to March of 2020. And the craziest part about it is that fear and greed is now as low as the March of 2020 lows. I am not getting shaken out. And I also don't think anyone should be thinking that we should be panicked here, especially when we know what's happening. We're starting to see FUD flood the streets, causing mass panic, causing mass liquidations. And this severely affects the market in a negative way. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video.